Hello, it's Gina here from Blackfish Arts Tasmania. Thanks for joining me again. I have been working on some stitching ideas. They begin as kernels of ideas and they may not go anywhere, but I do enjoy stitching at night after spending all day in the studio. After dinner, a bit of a relaxation in front of the television, and I stitch away. I've got this beautiful handmade paper. It's been stained from having leaves sit between it, which is fine. So handmade papers, and then the leaves I've been collecting around the property. So we've moved here, we've been here nearly 1 year, and it's a beautiful property that we walk quite often during the day, many times. And I found these beautiful leaves. They are gorgeous, with their natural markings. Obviously they've been lying on the ground a little while, and quite beautiful in their own right. So I have soaked them to keep them soft, soaked them in a mix of water and glycerin, and so they are quite pliable still. Still fragile, but pliable. And with the handmade paper, I began, this was my first one, a couple of nights ago, so I've just stitched it across in with a alternative colour, very fine cotton. I don't know if you can see that. Very fine yellow cotton. This one's on a finer sheet of handmade paper, and it's with white cotton, and it's white on white, so becoming difficult to see. But I have stitching, very fine white stitching going around here, and a thicker cotton, an embroidery cotton going like this along here, framing the leaf. These were holes that have been darned. Again, such a beautiful leaf. So this sheet, I'm going to continue across it. I might remain with the white on white. Not sure what I'm going to do with these sheets, but I'm going to trial a sample. Once I've stitched a smaller one, I'm going to try covering in encaustic and see what that looks like. That'll just make everything, the paper will go see-through, so I'm keen to see what that's going to look like. And the same idea, but just using stitching, so handmade paper, stitching, and just an every which way kind of stitch, which I enjoy doing. Just mark making on the page with a couple of little spots of silk. And I've used embroidery thread, cotton, and Japanese 100% cotton that I picked up actually in Japan. And again, all the ideas, one informs the other. So I had this bit of cloth, that I'd cut off from a piece I was stitching, and I cut it away and then stitched it onto very fine handmade paper. And this stitching is probably, I don't know if you can see it, so I scrunched the paper up, and then I just followed the scrunchy lines with stitching, and again it's white on white, and you can see a couple of the little bits that I leave sitting on top of the paper. This is going to be very fine when it's dipped into encaustic. I've used, what is this? Calico. It's a very light calico, and muslin over the top, so it's a strip like that. Calico, muslin, and then the stitching. And then the stitching I've done on the page has been carried across. So I've got like a design going like that, down to there, and then like that, and so on, just following any cracked lines I can find. So just scrunching it up and following the lines. Okay, I'll continue on with those and see where it takes me. Thanks again for joining me. Do subscribe so you can be notified when another video comes on, and like if you feel like it. Thanks for that. Bye.